I know I've talked about the wilderness before, but I've been reflecting more about it lately. I know that maybe I've even said at times that I've walked through the wilderness. Maybe we've heard people say that before, that they've walked through the wilderness, but it seems to me that as I've reflected over the time that I spent in the wilderness, it's not so much a walk as it is a stumble, crawl, desperate grab, determination to continue onward, asking God, pleading with God for the strength to breathe again, to feel again, to water our souls, and realizing that when we say yes to God to enter into the wilderness, where we are refined, purged, and made new, it's a place of pain and devastation. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. The reason why we have to go into the wilderness at all is to be refined and purged. Why wouldn't we think that there's pain and devastation there, especially in the beginning? And we would have to will ourselves forward, to take great courage, to put one more foot in front of the other foot. Painful foot in front of the other foot. I don't know that Jesus ever gave us any other impression. Count the cost, is what was said. To be refined, to be made new, to be healed, it's going to cost you something. It's probably going to cost you everything. Everything you used to know, anyway. A lot of comfortableness destroyed. Why does it have to be like that? Because the things of this world pass away, but the things that we learn in the wilderness, the pieces of our lives that are put back together in the wilderness, will last for eternity. Because the comforts that we have come to know in this world need to die before we can find the peace that we've been so desperately seeking, the love that's been lacking in our lives. But that wilderness place, it is a place of pain and devastation, but if we can if we can find the strength to put one foot in front of the other, and the courage to move forward, and the perseverance to crawl, the Lord would begin to sprout new life in us. That's His promise. And I know I've talked before about how it's in the wilderness where Father becomes closer to us than Lord. He becomes intimate with us there. So I guess I would encourage you that if you're in a place right now that's full of pain and devastation and tragedy and heartbreak, to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep being obedient to the voice of the Holy Spirit telling you which direction to go in. Because you're not failing. You're not failing because you're in a place that is desperate. You're not failing because you're in a place where everything is falling down around you. The only way we fail in this situation is to go backwards or to stop moving forwards at all. And let me tell you, the desire for safety and comfortableness and security, if we let it, it will drive us back to Egypt, back to the place. And then we have to do it all, at a later time, if we decide we want to be obedient again, then we have to go through this all again. It's the building your house on the sand as opposed to building your house on the rock parable. Analogy. When everything falls down around us, are we going to rebuild on the old way, or are we going to embrace the new way? But there's promises in the wilderness if we can put one foot in front of the other. Jesus, or it says in Isaiah, the Lord speaks to Isaiah in chapter 55 and says, I am the water for your thirst. I am the bread for your hunger. He says, why are you trying to purchase your water and your bread with money? And he says, come to me where you can buy bread and you can purchase what you need without money. So that we can be full, so that we can be satisfied, that we can be healed, and we can be fed directly on Him and what He wants for us. And we're entering into a time right now, the holiday season, to where there's a lot of depression, a lot of sadness, a lot of sorrow. But I encourage you during this time that the promises of the Lord are real. If they're not, then what are we doing? If we don't believe that the promises are real, what are we hoping for? What's our hope in? I know His promises are real. I know His promises are true because the Lord gave me the courage to stay in the wilderness long enough to see the new life sprout. I know that in the thick of the desperation and the despair and the hopelessness, there is that light of hope. There is that light that He shows us. There is that light that He showed me, and we have to grasp onto that. And through all the lies and fears that we're hearing in our minds, and the desire in us to go backwards and to try to find peace and security in the old way, if we can grasp onto that light, if we can engage our wills and push forward, we will be filled. You will be filled. You will find joy. You will find the love. You will find hope. You will find a future. It's just that the future involves a new man. And in order for there to be a new man, the old has to die. The old has to die, and we have to let the old die. I had to let the old die. So I pray that the love of the Father will saturate you as you move forward, give you the strength that you need to show you the hope that there is for you, the hope that He has for you, the plans that He has for you. Keep moving forward. There is a light at the end. There is a light even in the midst, not at the end. In the midst, there's a light. There's a hand reaching out to you to help you along the way, even though it's a crawling experience a lot of the time, to a certain point. It gets better. Don't go backwards. Move forwards. It's the only way to the promised land. Forwards is the only way. God bless.